Hey peeps, and welcome to another I-82 review. We've got a steam locomotive review for you today in the form of a Robinson Class J11. Now this locomotive is special because it's a present. It was given to me at Christmas last year by Nick. Absolutely fantastic guy, a really great friend, love him to bits, I really do. He runs the LMS 16440 channel. I'll put the link in the description below. Please do go check it out, check out his videos, follow him on Twitter. He's a really nice guy, knows tons about trains, way more than me. And he used to work, I don't think he does anymore, but he used to work at the S&J Models model shop in Northwich. I think he still pops in from time to time. But yeah, seriously great guy, and I am so thankful to him for getting me such a beautiful model for Christmas. It's not, it was a two-part thing, because Nick's very clever and very thoughtful like that. For my birthday, which actually is in about 3 weeks' time, August 28th if you must know, he got me a couple of coaches. Here we go. So I opened these coaches, these suburban coaches in maroon, and I thought, what? This is a bit odd. And then later on, come Christmas, he gave me the locomotive to pull them. What a guy. How cool is that? So, the Robinson J11, I don't actually know very much about it. I know that they were actually called something else. They were part of the Great Central Railway, GCR. And when they were part of the GCR, they were called 9Js. And then the LNER came along in 1923 and then thought, no, scrap that, we're calling them J11s. So they called them J11s, and then they basically stayed J11s right through to their BR days. But none of them survived. None of them survived into preservation, folks. How sad is that? Not one person thought to save and preserve at least one of them. They're all gone. There aren't any left. They're not the only locomotive to have suffered that kind of fate, sadly. But in model form, they're still here. They're still quite easy to get hold of, so that's something. Okay, there is some history on the back of it. I'll just have a quick read through it for you. The Great Central Railway, Class 9J, was John Robinson's first good locomotive design. First goods locomotive design. Sorry, John, it's not the first good one you've ever done. The first goods locomotive. Yes, they were designed for freight, but they ended up pulling everything. They were so popular with the crews that they really were used for everything. Really cool locomotives, really good. Yes, 174 were built between 1901 and 1910, with 18 of them seeing service in France during World War I. Wow. In 1923 they passed to the LNER and were reclassified as J11. The LNER was quick to attempt to bring some of the J11s within the new composite rolling stock gauge. Many different boiler and dome modifications were used to bring the J11 height within the 13-foot gauge height. Some members of the class were rebuilt between 1942 and 1953 with new cylinders, piston valves and a high boiler pitch. So basically what they're saying there is because of their history, they were built at, for example, they were built in Glasgow, they were built at the Vulcan Foundry in Newton-le-Willows, which is just north of me actually, it's not too far away. So because they were built all over the place, they were built ever so slightly differently. And when the LNER got hold of them, they tried to say, right, come on folks, sort them out. So they tried to uniform them all and get them all as similar to each other as possible, with some modifications remaining. You know, some of them were still different. The locomotives gained the nickname of pom-poms due to the similarity of their exhaust note to that of the pom-pom firing gun used in the South African War. Okay. The J11s were designed for and mainly used for freight traffic. However, they were also used for some passenger services, and these duties increased over time. The class was withdrawn between January 1954 and October 1962, with no examples being saved for preservation. Told you. Absolutely criminal, isn't it? What else have I got to tell you? They had a tractive effort of about 21,000, well, more or less 22,000 pounds per square foot, so it's quite powerful really for such a little locomotive. 2 inside cylinders, and they could do about 60 miles per hour, Some people probably got them up to quicker than that, but they could do about 60 miles an hour. So really, really cool little locomotives. Let's open the box and see what you get inside. Okay, so it's the block of ice packaging that we are now very, very familiar with. Just slide off the sleeve, take out the block of ice, there it is, put that to one side. Okay, so this is the usual gumph that we've come to expect. Let's have a look. Robinson J11 060. So you've got like a parts detailing there, which is useful if you need to replace any. Not that I ever, well, I don't think I've ever had to do that. Running in, the mechanism of this model requires running in without a load, which means don't get it pulling anything, for approximately 1 hour at moderate speed. I find 30 minutes in each direction is absolutely perfect. And basically what that does, and I always get questions about this, is it allows the oil fitted at the factory to just get around all the cogs and teeth and all the bearings and everything that moves. It just allows everything to bed in and get used to running. It's like when you pick up a new car, or even if you get a new motorbike, or anything mechanical really. It doesn't do it any harm to just run it in. So that's useful. It's talking about what radius of curves it best runs on, but we've got fourth and third on the conservatory layout, and the proper layout isn't even, it's even more gentle than that. Body shell removal, DCC decoder fit. Oh, that's interesting. 21 pin. So it's got a 21 pin socket in the tender. That's really, really good. Talks about where to add additional lubrication when you service the model, replacement parts. So yeah, it's what we're used to. We are used to that, aren't we? Oh gosh. Of course, yes, the Bachmann Collectors Club. I promise I will do this. I did look at the Hornby one a few years ago, so I promise I'll do the Bachmann one as well. In fact, I'll do it this summer. Yep, I'll fill all this in, I'll join this summer, and I'll make a video on it. How about that? Okay, so that leaves us with this. Let's take off the outer sleeve. Now we have some detail here. In fact, wow, that looks fantastic. It looks like some of it has already been snapped off the sprue, but there is quite a lot of detail there, so that's really cool. You've got couplings, you've got shovels, and various tools that they would have used for like, well, I've seen them use tools for various things. Some of these tools are used for uncoupling and coupling. Some of them are used for just literally shoveling coal from the tender into the firebox. It's really nice to include stuff like that, and if you wanted to, you could paint them and weather them and really make it look realistic. So that's really impressive. And then if we lift this up, I thought as much with it talking about there being a 21 pin decoder socket in the tender. I pretty much assumed that, well, I was right. Look, they've connected the two with wires, so you have to be really careful. Never ever lift up the loco and let the tender be held by just the wires, or the other way around. No way. So if we just get all of that out of shot, we can have a look at the locomotive itself. Okay, well, because the locomotive and tender are permanently connected together via those wires, it's a little bit fiddly to hold. It's really quite awkward, but I'll try my best, okay? Wow, what is there to say? She is a beauty. What a little stunner. You've got sprung buffers, you've got NEM couplings with slimline tension locks pre-fitted, rivets absolutely all over the place. Look at that. Even massive ones on the firebox. A metal handrail going down both sides. A really nice big chimney. In fact, no, maybe not. I thought maybe if the chimney is big enough and deep enough, you could probably fit a smoke generator, but it depends what they've put inside the boiler. A pair of beautiful little whistles, or well, they're probably safety valves, aren't they, with the whistle on the top of the cab there. And then look at this. Look at that cab detail, folks. You can see everything. You can see the handbrake, you can see the reverser, you can see the regulator, even the little pressure readouts. Absolutely beautiful. And then there's a massive coal load that they have fitted, but it is removable, so you can make your own if you want to. The detail is just as good on the tender. Look, you've got little handrails there, you've got what is probably a brake of some sort, I'm not too sure. I guess this is probably to rest the shovel on, or to rest some tools of some sort. A beautiful example of the BR early emblem logo. Just look at that. And then again, sprung buffers on the back, another NEM coupling, a slimline tension knot that's been pre-fitted, vacuum tubing, handrails, and the whole thing is so heavy that, oh, I should see the muscles in my arms. For such a tiny locomotive, it's like they've cast the whole thing out of lead. It's really, really heavy. And just looking at those wheels, I don't think she's ever been ran. I seriously don't think she has ever been put onto the rails. Ever. That is incredible. And look, all those pickups there in the tender as well. Oh, do you know, this looks good. This bodes well. I think she's going to be a little stunner. I really do. I can see her doing so much work. I can see her pulling cute little branch line passenger trains, and I can see her doing tons of freight duties as well. Nick always blows me away with locomotives like this. And oh my gosh, no. No. Oh, phew. I was going to say, no way does the smoke box open as well. I don't think it does. No. That would have just made my jaw knock the tripod over or something. Let me see if I can flip it over to the other side. Okay, there we go. Yep, it was a little bit fiddly, but I was able to get the locomotive onto the other side. And look at that, you've even got like a flap. Look at that. That's supposed to drop down between, and cover the floor between the tender and the locomotive. It's little touches like that that are just incredible. And I can't get it to couple up. Go on, there we go. There's the massive reverser that you can see just there, going down to where it should, in between the frames. There's not much detail in terms of coupling rods and linkage, but then it's such a simple locomotive having internal cylinders that you're not going to see very much. You can see the brakes, you can see so much detail. It's beautiful. Nick does this. I don't know how he does it. He always manages to find some really quite random locomotive I've never heard of and I would never give a second glance at. And he makes me fall in love with it. Absolutely beautiful. Gosh, let's put her on the track and see how well she runs. Okay, so here we are at the test layout. I'm going to put it on this outer track. I'm just going to have to make sure that the tender is coupled up. There we go. Not too tricky. You just have to, and it's really important, you have to make sure that the pin on the tender is properly located into the metal hole, which is on a metal strut that comes out of the back of the locomotive. You must make sure that you do that. Otherwise, when the locomotive goes, then basically it'll be pulling the tender purely on those wires, and you do not want to do that. Another thing to note at this point is I have actually taken a bit of detail off the tender just here and put it to one side because I kept catching it. Every time I tried to pick it up, I kept catching it, and I was just worried I was going to break it. So for the purposes of this review, I've actually taken off that piece of detail there. So yeah, folks, this model has so much detail, there's even a chance you can snap some off. You have to be really careful. Those are the standards we're reaching these days. So we've got the combi controller plugged in and wired up to this outer loop. So let's give it a bit of juice and see what happens. Oh, nice. Really nice. That was me. That wasn't the locomotive. That is really impressive. Let's just have a quick gander at the slow speed performance actually. Here we go. Oh wow. That's DC, folks. There's no chip in that yet. I'm always impressed whenever a locomotive can do speed like that. There we go. And not have a chip installed. Fantastic. Right, let's get her going around the loop then and see just how well she handles those express points. Okay, here she comes. Will she make it? Will she make it? Let's find out. Oh, yes, she's done it. Impressive. I think there was a little bit of a wobble in terms of performance, but considering just how lethal those express points are, she's done very well. Hey! Okay, yeah, seriously, she is nice. I am so impressed. What a quality mechanism. So smooth. Loads of detail. Not too noisy, not too quiet. She's just got like a sort of a gentle grunt to her, and that you can tell she's strong. I think we need to get those coaches on and give her the complete train look that she's supposed to have. Okay, so I'm just gently backing the locomotive up onto those coaches now. As I say, this is the train that Nick gave me basically. This is as he intended it. And oh my gosh, he is so good. Just look how smart this looks. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Nick, you could work for Bachmann. You could design their train sets. Look at that. That is just absolutely stunning. I don't know how prototypical it is, because when I was reading up about the J11s, I found out that they ran all over the place. They literally were, you could find them all over the country, even in Cheshire, which is definitely not LNER territory. And as for these suburban coaches, well, they're typically London and the southern areas, but they did make it as far north as Birmingham, and they were even used around Manchester from time to time. So yeah, it's probably okay. It probably is prototypical. It probably is acceptable. I don't think even the most serious of modelers would have a gripe or complaint about it. But hey, this is Ice Age 2. We don't really care about that kind of stuff anyway. We just enjoy trains. So take it away, J9. Take it away, J11. Let's go a little bit quicker now. She has done a running in, by the way. The beauty of editing. What do I think? I'm just blown away. Nick does this every time. I could kill him. No, I'm joking. I love him to bits. Until Nick bought me this, I had never even heard of a J11 by LNER / GCR, but I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I can just see this being used so much, from pulling gorgeous little branch line trains like this to an absolute ton of different freight varieties. She's just so versatile, and Bachmann have done a really good job of her as well. Stunning detail, beautiful cab detail, fantastic motor, 21 pin DCC functionality. Yeah, I absolutely love it. I really, really do. IC82 recommends this.